We're going live, and you are looking live at Sold Out Giants Stadium, where today the 15-0 New York Giants will be taking on the 0-15 Jacksonville Jaguars. Why the Jacksonville Jaguars 0-15? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Or anybody spends any time watching a replay of this, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys are the absolute best. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here, as I usually do. Try to shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say? Just fire away in the chat box. I got any questions, any comments, any concerns, or anything like that. I check on the chat box every so often. So, I mean, if you got something to say, I'll check on it. And I will reply. Okay. But before I get started, in the description box below, if you want to help support my channel, it would mean so much to me. I got there's a link, you can check it out. I got 3 different membership levels. I got one called the Saquon. All right. Then the next one up, the next tier up, I got the Lawrence Taylor. Right, membership level, and then the last one is called the Gridiron. That's the big one. All right, you got different perks for each one and all and everything. But if you want to just help support my channel, it would mean so much to me. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, okay, good. Just click on the subscribe button below, okay. And also there's a bell icon. Hit that. That way, next time I go live or I put out a video or whatever like that, you'll be notified. And then also in the description box below, there's a couple links in there too. There's I got a Facebook group. It's called The Gridiron. All right, it's all about the Giants. Right. If you want to click on that and like it, all right, that would be absolutely fantastic. I also got there's 2 pages. Okay, that I have. Another one's called the Gridiron. I put out stuff on every day. Every day, new material gets posted onto the group, the page as well. Then there's another page I got. It's called This Date in Giants History. Now, with that one, what I do is every day I put out a new video. Okay, on basically during the football season, what I'll do is I'll put out one, like what I did recently for today, okay, was on this date in Giants history on October 19th, which is today, right? But 1997, the Giants went to the Pontiac Silverdome to play the Detroit Lions, right? The game went into overtime. The Giants prevailed on a Chris Callaway 68-yard touchdown reception. Giants won 26-20. Right. So what I'm going to do is by tomorrow, I'll put out another one on this date in Giants history. Like it'll be for like October 20th, and there'll be a game I'll find from October 20th in the past. And I'll pretty much go back to like the 60s. So you go back almost like 60 years, basically. I'll try to find some highlights on the game or whatever, and I'll post that. So if you want, I mean, if you click on those links and like maybe join, or at least like the pages or the groups or anything, it would mean so much. I would absolutely love it. But I saw the Giants. Now, I never try to take too much stock in this here, right? I mean, how the Giants are, rising in the what would you call it? The power rankings. Now they're number 5. I mean, they're a lot of them. I'm going to go over some of them here. A lot of them got them, like the Sporting News had them number 4 in the power rankings. They moved up. Apparently, I guess they were number 7, and then after they won, they went up to number 4 in the power rankings. And for the Sporting News, the comments they got: the Giants can be considered for real. Only a game behind the Eagles with their lone loss coming to the Cowboys. They took advantage of a weak schedule early, but their Packers and Ravens victory stamped their inspired all-around arrival under coach of your frontrunner, Brian Daboll. Yeah, but let's not forget, they beat the Titans too on the road as well. But a lot of it, I try not to get overly, because the Giants are 4, okay? But if say they were to lose to the Jaguars, right? Well, they're gonna drop to number 10. It's a roller coaster ride. You win one week, you rise in the rankings. You lose, you fall down in the rankings. The only way their number like 4 or 5 or whatever, it's like, say they went on the road and they lost to the Eagles. They lost by like a point or so to the Eagles. Well, then they would probably wind up staying still. But for the most part, a lot of times I try not to get too excited about these power rankings, because the Giants are like maybe number 4, but say they lose their next 2 games. Well, now they're number 16. They're up and down and up, and I try not to get too crazily carried away with these power rankings, right? Because the Giants, they got some faults, not fault, but they got some issues. All right. It's just for them to be that high, I try to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. This article here from Giants.com said the Giants start 5-1 start is the franchise best since 2009. And also, let's not forget, in 2008 they started 11-1. All right. When the team also began the season with 5 wins in their first 6 weeks. The Giants trailed the Ravens 20-10 with just 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It was the 3rd time this season they rallied to win after being down by at least 10 points at half. Yeah, they trailed the Titans 13-0 at week 1, trailed the Packers 20-10 at halftime week 5. It's also the 3rd game the Giants have won this season when faced with a fourth quarter deficit, weeks 1 and 5. Brian Daboll's team is finding success on both sides of the ball. Yeah. Offensively, success offensively, but you also got to realize what they have or what they don't have, okay? Receivers. It's a passing league, right? They got receivers, obviously, but, compare them to some of the other teams, receivers. Now, you also got to look at it, too, right? A lot of, the teams that the Giants have faced, especially, the Giants maybe, don't have their second cornerback in there. A lot of the teams that the Giants have faced have not really been passing juggernauts, shall we say. The Titans aren't. The Packers, got Aaron Rodgers, but his receivers are kind of young. The Panthers, right? The Bears, this past week, the Ravens, they don't have phenomenal passing attacks, they did have a hard time with the Cowboys, right? And the Cowboys had a backup quarterback in there. Giants couldn't stop the run, right? And Cooper Rush looked pretty good. So the Giants got some issues, obviously. Brian Daboll's team is finding success on both sides. The Giants continue to run the ball well as they rank 4th in the NFL with 163 rushing yards per game. But now let's not forget, last week they only averaged like 2.7 yards a rush. And somehow they found a way to win the football game. I'm going to go over that in just a bit here, okay, about how there's all different ways of winning football games, right? Yeah. They had a season low 83 yards rushing against the Ravens, who don't have a phenomenal defense, right? Wink Martindale's unit enters week 7 as the league's number 7 scoring defense, 18.8 points per game given up. And this is where, what would you say, the theory, like relativity comes in. Everything's relative, right? If you got the ball and you're scoring points and you're walking up and down the field and you're controlling the ball, controlling the clock, and your defense on the sideline, they're not giving up any points, right? So if the Giants, ever got some receivers that could stay healthy, that some dominant receivers that could stay healthy, stay on the field, right? And the Giants offense can be even better, right? That 18.8 points per game might go down. Why? Because the defense ain't on the field, right? How many times this season have the Giants, scored hardly anything in the first half, and they had to come back in the second half, right? In addition, ranking top 5 in both third down percentage and red zone percentage on defense. Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna go over that too. The team's torrid start has led to a big rise in the NFL power rankings from media outlets across the country. So I just try to take this stuff with a grain of salt. Okay. I said sporting news has the Eagles number 1, Bills 2, Chiefs 3, Giants 4, and Vikings 5. ESPN is the Giants at number 5. They moved up 6 spots. ESPN comments, Giants weren't expected to win many games this season. My projection was 6. So you blame me? No, I don't. They hadn't topped 6 wins in any of the previous 5 seasons. Yeah. But all I've done so far is find ways to win, whether it's by going for 2 in the opener. Let's not forget about that, right? Instead of just kicking the extra point, tying it, and sending it maybe in overtime, going for 2, right? That shuffle pass to Saquon. He found a way to squeeze his way into the end zone for 2, right? Shutting out Aaron Rodgers in the second half. Yeah, I mean, we were losing 20-10. The only points the Packers scored in the second half was when the Scottish Hammer, Jeremy Gilliam, ran out of the end zone. Or by getting their first interception of the season to win the game against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Yeah, I mean, that's another one. I mean, it's not like the Giants, have 17 turnovers on defense. I mean, it took them, what was it? Let me think here. 5 games and I'm going to say what? 56, 57 minutes or so. No, it was about 3 minutes left. Yeah. 5 full games and 57 minutes of the 6th game to get their first interception of the season. I mean, I'm going to show you some of these. Well, I'll show you. I'm going to go over why some of these teams are where they are, right? I mean, some of them just got to do with turnovers, the plus turnovers, right? And the Giants are +2. But I mean, I said it's not like the Giants, have 7 interceptions and 5 of them are pick sixes, Let's see. It doesn't matter that the Giants are 23rd in total offense and 15th in defense. I mean, and they're 5-1, 23rd in offense and dead in the middle in defense. Coach Brian Daboll has the team believing in finishing. They've outscored their opponents 87-49 in the second half of games, which is huge. What we got? ESPN has the Bills 1, Eagles 2, Chiefs, Vikings, and then the Giants. Yahoo Sports has the Eagles, Bills, Chiefs, Vikings, Giants. Right? Yahoo says Giants are number 5. They moved up 8 spots. I don't know how good the Giants are, but they keep on winning. You win, you rise in the rankings. Rules are rules. Yep, absolutely. I mean, that's I mean, the Giants lose the next 2. I mean, they're going to go from number 5 to number 16 or whatever. That's just the way that. I mean, you win, hey, you go up. You lose, you go down. It's like, that's why I don't take a lot of stock in these. Pro Football Talk has the Giants number 5. They moved up 3 spots. They got the Eagles, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, and then the Giants. CBS Sports has the Giants number 5. They say at 5-1, they are the shock of the league right now. The defense came up big against the Ravens. Yep. They got the Eagles, Bills, Vikings, Chiefs, and Giants. Bleacher Report has the Giants number 5. Comments. The Giants may not win with a lot of flash, but they win and keep winning. Giants now wins over a first-place Titans team, a first-place Ravens team, and a Packers team that won 13 games each of the last 3 seasons. These Giants believe they can win every week and played hard for 60 minutes. It's high time we start believing too. All right. Maybe the Giants are actually good. 5-1 starting back-to-back wins against the Green Bay Packers and Baltimore Ravens can be viewed as an aberration. The team is playing a more physical brand of football, especially on defense under Wink Martindale's supervision. Brian Daboll and his staff have done a wonderful job getting the most out of their talent. They got the Eagles number 1, Bills 2, Chiefs 3, Vikings 4, and the Giants number 5. Now let's not forget. I mean, that they did get smoked, but I mean, the Vikings' only loss of the season was when they played in Philadelphia. They play horrible here. I mean, Cousins. I think it was a Monday night game. Cousins is, I don't know if he's 0-10 or 1-10 or something. Cousins is horrible on Monday nights. The Vikings just seem to play horrible here. It is what it is. But I mean, the only game that the Vikings lost was, to the Eagles. So USA Today is the Giants at number 6. NFL.com is the Giants number 7. Sports Illustrated has the Giants at number 7. The Athletic has them number 9. So I don't know. Somehow the Giants are number 9. I don't get this either. The Athletic. The Giants are number 9. I ain't going to argue with that. Not at all. But they got the top 5. They got the Bills. Okay. The Eagles. They got the Chiefs. Number 4, they got the Ravens, who just lost to the Giants. I'm a little lost on that one. And then they got the 49ers. Right. So the Giants are anywhere from like number 9 to like number. So who had them at number 4? Number 4. Somebody, Sporting News had them at number 4. So, but I mean, they got, they got some issues. I mean, if we go here, we look to PFF, okay, right? How they, they grade some of the teams. I mean, the Giants are like overall. I mean, the Giants. I mean, the Eagles are number 1, 83.8. The Giants. I mean, the PFF really has no love for the Giants at all. PFF has the Giants who are 5-1. Their overall team grade is a 65. Okay. They have the Giants, number 29. They have the Houston Texans ahead of the Giants. Houston Texans are 1-3-1, and they have a better overall team grade than the Giants do. The Carolina Panthers, who are 1-5, who the Giants beat, have a better overall grade than the New York Giants. Giants are 65. The Panthers are 69.1. The Raiders, who are 1-4, have a better overall grade than the Giants. I mean, I don't get it, but the Giants don't get much love. Offensively, the Giants, right, where the Giants are at offensively. The Giants are number 21 overall, according to PFF. Passing grade. Let's see here. Where are we at here? Giants, number 17. Passing grade overall. Pass blocking grade. Eagles are number 1. Yeah, I mean the Giants, 59.3. Now, some of it's tough to argue. I mean, because a lot of times you look back and you look at Daniel Jones and the guys drops back to pass and he's under duress. Now, I also heard too the Giants have. I forgot what it was, but they're at the bottom of the league. I think it is as far as 20. Passes being thrown 20 yards or more down the field. They have like the fewest or one of the fewest at all of, they just, some of it, they can't hold the blocking up long enough. I mean, how can you stand in the pocket for 2 or 3 seconds if every time you drop them back to pass, you got guys all over you? So, I mean, the Giants, they're kind of like dinking and dunking. It's very tough to win a football game, dinking and dunking your way down the field for long touchdown drives. Not only that, but I mean, look at the wide receivers the Giants have. I mean, they try hard and this, that, and the other thing and all, but I mean, you look at some of the obviously the elite team. I mean, look at the Vikings. All right, they got Thielen, right? I mean, and I mean, dude Jefferson. Holy cow, what a freaking stud that guy is, right? They got a good running back. Quarterback's decent, but I mean, they got 2 good receivers, right? I mean, you look at, right? I mean, the Chiefs. I mean, you got Travis Kelce, right? Juju Schuster, right? Obviously, Patrick Mahomes doesn't hurt. I mean, the Bills, they got, Josh Allen, but they got Stephon Diggs, right? The Eagles, they got 3 guys. They got Dallas Goedert, okay? They got A.J. Brown, and they got DeVonta Smith, right? They got 3 guys. Now, if you look at the Eagles, right, the Those three guys each have close to almost like 30 receptions between the three of them. Each one has almost like 30 receptions. It's simply amazing. Then the rest of the team has like, this guy is 6, this guy's got 5, this got 7. I mean, but those three guys, right? They got 3 guys. Between the three of them, they have almost 90 receptions between the 3 of them. Let me see if I can pop this up. But I mean, this is just, this is huge. Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, let's see here. 2022. I'm going to pull up their stats here. Okay, Pro Football Reference. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I like this here. Pro Football Reference. Let's go down here. Receiving. Okay. Oh, Dallas guy here, I guess a little bit of an off game. Okay, but Dallas guy's got 26 receptions. Okay. DeVonta Smith has 33. AJ Brown's got 33. So what the heck is that? 66, 76, 86, right? 86. They got 92 receptions. Each one, those 3 guys averaging basically almost 31 receptions between the 3 of them. Each one's got averaging 31 receptions. They got 3 guys, averaging 31 receptions, right? That's what they got. That's what the Giants don't have. I mean, we got, Daniel Bellinger. Yeah. I mean, I'm saying, let's look at the Giants here. All right, the Giants here. What do we got? Receptions. I mean, Richie James leads it. Oh, Saquon leads the team with 21, but he's a running back. Okay, we're talking receivers, guys that, guys that can, not that it's anything bad about getting Saquon the ball. That's not a problem, bad thing. But I'm talking receivers, tight ends, guys that can stretch the field, right? Giants are led by Richie James, his 19. Then we got Daniel Bellinger has 15, and Sterling Shepard's got 13. And Sterling Shepard's season's over. Nobody else on the team has double digits. Right? We got David Sills has 9 catches. Darius Slayton's got 8. I mean, right? I mean, these are the guys we're trying to go with. I mean, so what I'm saying is that it's very, I understand it's about team and all of that and everything, but it's also about having guys, playmakers, guys that can do, and we got Saquon, but you got to have somebody else. You got to have somebody else. And I said, then you look at the Eagles, not only the Eagles, but they got that phenomenal offensive line. They got Jalen Hurts, but of course, he's a good quarterback, but he looks better because he's got 3 playmakers running routes every time. And if those guys are taken up, he can find somebody else, or he takes off and runs, right? And another one of the things that the Giants have a problem with, their injuries. I mean, injuries. I mean, that's one thing the Eagles don't have as well, too. They don't have a lot of injuries. Giants do. I mean, it's now another thing with the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles far and away. The Eagles, the Eagles have the health, right? They're far and away. The turnovers, okay, are the Eagles are plus 12. The turnovers, plus 12 after 6 games. Eagles had 9 interceptions and they recovered 5 fumbles. They've only given up 2 turnovers. In 6 games, they've only given up 2 turnovers. So they have no injuries. They don't turn the ball over, and they got these studs, right, running routes for them and everything. So, I mean, it's the Giants, one of the ways the Giants want, they got outgained big time by the Ravens, right? I mean, the Ravens scored walked up and down the field quite a bit. They had over 400 yards of offense against the Giants and everything. But, one of the ways the Giants, like this past week, okay, the Giants had 1 turnover. It happened the last play of the first half. It didn't cost them anything at all, okay? The Ravens had their 2 turnovers, 2 very huge turnovers, right? The Ravens also had all those yards of offense and everything. The Giants only had 238 yards, was it, of total offense? I mean, And if Saquon Barkley walked into the end zone, all right, at the end of the game, which he could have, but he made the smart thing by laying down, keeping the clock running. The Giants could actually somehow had 31 points and had like 240 yards of offense. But one of the things, the Giants only had 3 penalties for 25 yards. The Ravens killed themselves with penalties this past week. 10 penalties for 74 yards. 10 penalties were huge, absolutely huge for the Giants. Another thing the Giants, which I just kind of went over a little bit here, okay, was the how the opposing teams in the red zone. The Giants, once the other team gets into the red zone, the Giants are very, very good. Now, what we got here? We got the third down conversions. The Giants are 30 out of 78, so 38.5%. Actually, you like that to get that up a little bit more. If you can get that into the 40s, 40, 45, But the Giants on third down, if they can actually hold the team to third down, the other team's only converted at 32.4%, which is huge. The other opponents have only converted 23 out of 71 third down conversions. So that's huge, right? And also in the red zone as well. Okay. We got the Giants are 58.8%. You like that to get up a little bit more as well, too. So, but they're close to 60%. As I said, you like to get that up more. I mean, if you get that around like 75%, 3 out of every 4 times you score a touchdown, that would be great. However, the opposing team has been in the red zone more. They've been in the red zone 20 times, but they've only scored 8 touchdowns. So 40%. All right. So that's huge, right? So, I mean, the Giants have got a lot of deficiencies, right? And a lot of it, they got some injuries as well, too. But they just seem to each week they're seeming to find a way, to come back and win. A lot of it's got to do with their defense, keeping them in the ball game by halftime, right? And then the Giants seem to find a way in the second half, right, and come back and win. The one problem the Giants are going to have is if there's a game, somewhere along the line, and it's a big game, maybe a playoff game or a game at the end of the season, or when they're playing the Eagles or whatever, and if the Giants get down 24-3 or something like that in the third quarter, and the Giants have to throw the football, things might be a little bit different then. But the Giants so far, have been finding ways to keep themselves in the game, right? Especially the defense, right? Keeping the Giants in the game, allowing them to, at least come back and win. It's just, they're playing with fire here. Each week they're going to, we'll have 2 field goals at halftime. We'll be all right. I mean, you can't, playing. You can't say a soft schedule because we played the Titans, we played the Ravens, and we played the Packers, right? But you can't continue to keep doing this week in and week out, saying, it's all right. Yeah, we don't have a touchdown at halftime. We're good. We got the, So along the line, they're going to need to scoring some points, and they got to, I mean, just because the Giants are number 4 or 5 in the power rankings, don't start drinking the Kool-Aid, all right? That right. I mean, the Giants have some deficiencies, all right? So then we got some storylines here. I saw this on SI. Right? One thing to talk about is the decision on Nick Gates is coming. Now, Giants opened the 21-day window on the offensive lineman Nick Gates on October 5th. So Gates has 3 weeks. All right. So October 5th. So he's got the 26th. So he's got a week. All right. He's got 1 more week. All right. And then the Giants have to make the decision on, do they add him to the roster? I haven't heard anything, good, bad, or whatever. Do they add him to the 53? If they don't add him to the 53, they got to shut him down for the rest of the season. Okay. So it's one or the other. They say technically the Giants have until next Wednesday to make their final call on whether to add Gates to the final roster or leave him inactive for the rest of the year. They have an opening on the 53-man roster right now, okay, to fill, and whether they use that spot on Gates will depend on if he's physically ready. Now, I mean, he can certainly get into shape, obviously, put a pitch count on him, put him in there. I'm not exactly sure where he'll be playing. I don't know if they have him at center, if they'd have him at guard, exactly what, if they maybe put him in there as a, maybe an extra 6 lineman in a heavy formation, right? But I mean, if they do add him, they can put him on a pitch count and see how it goes, right? 1 week, put him in there for 10, 15 snaps. Next week, 20, 25 snaps or whatever, so be interested to see. But we've got 1 week to go. Then we can see if we can actually add Nick Gates to the roster. That would be fantastic. Then let's not forget, okay, Shane Lemieux is on IR as well, too. I mean, I just some of these guys just can't even talk about it. Just, and I feel bad because they're injured and all of that. It just I don't know. The guys can go through all of college, hardly like miss nothing, absolutely nothing, and then here they hurt themselves in like training camp. I mean, Nick Gates with Shane Lemieux with his toe, and he's missed 6 weeks. This will be week number 7. He's missed with his toe. I mean, I guess he's going to miss the whole season. I mean, but it'll be interesting to see if maybe, or like the same thing with Ellison Smith. Are we ever going to see him on the field this year, too? But another thing we're talking about is Doug Peterson. Now, this is, the coaching staff isn't here. Joe Judge isn't here anymore. Some of the players are, but, it's a little different situation. But Giants fans might not soon forget how Doug Peterson, when he was with the Eagles, screwed the Giants, who needed the Eagles win over the Washington to make the playoffs, and his own team, for that matter, in the 2022 regular season finale, when he decided to take a look at backup quarterback Nate Sudfeld, which many people, including then Giants head coach Joe Judge, saw as a slap in the face to the game's integrity. Well, he got fired anyway, so he got what was coming to him. But, I mean, it's still a little different. I mean, he's with a different team. He's not with the Eagles anymore. Joe Judge, the coaching staff's not here anymore. A lot of the players are gone, so, But and you got the Giants, who are 5-1, are 3.5-point underdogs to the 2-3 Jaguars. But if you're looking for the Giants to be extra motivated, you will probably be disappointed because that's not what head coach Brian Daboll preaches to his team. He says, I think the big thing for us is just focusing on what we can control, which is each day. Get ready for the team we're about to play. Jacksonville, in this case, had a very good work day, prepared the right way, Daboll said. That's where our focus will always be. In other words, don't worry about the odds, the standings, the scoreboard, or any of that stuff. Live for the moment and don't dwell on the past. That's a good point. Then, of course, we're seeing an old friend, Mr. Oops, I dropped the ball. Evan Ingram, seeing an old friend. The Giants will see a familiar face this weekend in the form of old friend Evan Ingram, the 2017 first-round draft pick who signed with the Jaguars as an unrestricted free agent this past offseason. Ingram is off to one of his best starts to a season. He has 208 receiving yards, okay, which is basically 40 yards a game, right? That's nothing super spectacular. He's tied for 11th most by tight end through 6 games. So, right. He scored 24 of 32 passes, targets, but doesn't yet have a touchdown. So he's going to love to try to score a touchdown or 2 against his old team. He's going to love to do that. Absolutely love to do that, without question. So then I got the one last thing here. They got rattling Trevor Lawrence. Regardless of whatever problems the Jaguars on offense, one area in which they've been pretty solid has been protecting Trevor Lawrence. The Jaguars have allowed just 10 sacks this season, so a minimal amount of sacks, and have the 5th best pass blocking efficiency according to Pro Football Focus at 88.9. The Giants, after starting with 3 sacks in their first 3 games, the pass rush has started to have more success getting home. New York has recorded 10 sacks in its last 3 games and remains the league's blitz percentage leader at 42.5%. Lawrence hasn't been blitzed much so far this season, seeing the blitz at only 22%. So the Giants blitz at 42. So the Giants blitz about twice as much as what Lawrence has been seeing so far this season, right? He's thrown 2 touchdowns, and 2 of his 3 interceptions were blitzed, okay? And his receivers haven't have dropped 5 of his pass attempts when blitzed. Lawrence, like any quarterback, doesn't like being pressured to throw before he's ready. So if the Giants can bring some heat against him, perhaps they will have some opportunities to cash in on him. Now, let's not forget, he's a good athlete, all right? He can run. He's not Lamar Jackson, okay, but he's a good athlete. He can run. But what they said, if you pressure him, right, he'll show his he'll show some faults, right? But that includes keeping him in the pocket. Maybe Kayvon coming from the outside, keeping him in the pocket, trying to keep, like, same thing with Lamar, keeping him in the pocket, right? Getting to push up the middle from Dexter and maybe Leonard Williams. Hopefully Leonard Williams plays more snaps this week as well, too. Hopefully his knees feeling better as well, too. But, that's going to be huge for the Giants, But it's been almost 36 minutes. Let me just shoot my mouth off. Anybody at all spent any time watching this, I greatly, greatly appreciate it. If anybody watches the replay of this, once again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. You guys absolutely rock. And as always, guys out there, you guys stay safe out there. And go Giants. Woo!